Hi, everybody. Are you ready for some basketball tonight? Well, some basketball breaks anyway. Of course, there's basketball on too because it's on like constantly, really, it seems like, especially in relation to football. Yeah, basketball's always on. Okay, so tonight we just have the one break. It's a full case of 2017-18 Panini Ascension Basketball. And it is definitely the last of this that we're going to open because, man, yeah, I've been taking a beating on this one. So we're definitely not going to keep opening it. We're going to get through this case and then we're moving on to Prism. Yeah, everybody's excited about Prism. Me too. And I'm included in that. Can't wait to get that open. But first off tonight, a product which I like, but you guys don't, is Panini Ascension Basketball. This is a 12-box full case break. And our eBay end date was tonight, 12/5. Our live stream schedule also tonight, Tuesday, 12/5 at 10 p.m. Eastern. And you'll see team names on the left, winning bidders across from it on the right-hand side. And we'll scroll down through here for a minute, give you guys a chance to see your name up in lights there across from your team. Hopefully I haven't made any typos in here. Occasionally, you know, I'll make a cut and paste error. I do, I grab them off of that eBay end of transaction notice and I just paste them into a spreadsheet. Every once in a while I'll forget to clear that clipboard and make a little goof in there. But hopefully we didn't do that tonight. But if you ever see one of those things go by and it is something is incorrect, feel free to jump in and let me know, and I will correct it, you know, while we're live streaming. Hi, Michael. How are you? I saw you had a couple of teams in here. I recognized you on the spreadsheet there. Sometimes I remember and I can associate the eBay username with the actual real name. Yours is an easy one for me to remember, Michael. But sometimes I cannot. Sometimes I try to remember and I forget. But I do my best. And you know what I should have done? Yeah, I should have set the focus first. So let's do that real quick. Let me get these out so it doesn't give me that weird light balance thing that it does sometimes. And you'll see the background go out of focus here. That is because I like to look at the cards up close and personal. And in order to do that without that constant zooming in and out, we have to kind of throw the background slightly out of focus. Now I think we're good to go, provided I don't knock the camera over like I did last night. I think that was last night. And that's a big stack of boxes, as they like to use lots and lots of packaging to put in just a few cards. Oh, awesome. So your son has the Warriors tonight. Fantastic. Well, let's hope that we can pull you a good Warriors card then, or more than one good Warriors card. Maybe we'll pull you lots of them. So I did see that you're, speaking of the Warriors, your man Steph Curry there, looks like his x-rays came back negative. So even though he's going to be setting out a few games, doesn't look like any structural damage, which is nice. So I watched the replay of that, and man, that was a pretty nasty little turn he had there for his ankle, for sure. While I'm thinking about it, shipping on what we're breaking right now is most likely going to be Saturday, give or take a day. So by that I mean some of it could get out the door earlier, perhaps on Thursday. A couple could possibly slide to Monday. I'm hoping that the majority get out on Saturday. That's always my goal. The quicker the better. But sometimes, you know, it takes longer than other times. And another little note while I'm thinking about it. I talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, and I also got a message from somebody tonight on the same topic. Shipping right now is just a hot mess. Not the shipping it out part. Like, I can get the shipping it out part fine, but the post office is just making a mess of things. like packages that are shipped out priority mail, which might normally take 1 or 2 days, and say they're only going to take like 1 or 2 days, are taking like 4 and 5 days, and packages are going weird places. One gentleman, he lives actually in the same state I'm in. Just, I mean, you know, a couple hours drive down the road, right? So I mail his stuff towards the end of November, like 27th, 28th, somewhere in there. And of course, he and I both thought that he would have that in like a day or two. And it doesn't show up. So we start looking at tracking. Somehow or another, his package going a couple of hours down the road has gone from our state up to Ohio, up to New Hampshire. Then it sat in New Hampshire for like a day or two, and then started back down the same route. Came back down through Ohio, back into Kentucky, and then finally got to his house like day before yesterday. Yeah, so that's the kind of weird stuff that's going on with the post office right now. So sometimes things that should be getting there quickly and that you're used to having there quickly, they're not coming through quickly. And that's just holiday season, you know. Hi, Jason. We haven't actually looked at any of them yet. Right now, I'm just taking out a handful of the boxes. We're taking out the wrappers and getting them opened up, and we'll probably just look at maybe 4 boxes at a time. So this is the 3rd box right now that I'm managing to get out of the wrappers. We'll take one more box out, then we'll stop and look, and then we'll do the same thing again in another group of 4. Oh, Michael, yours come to Indiana by way of New York. I know, it's so, this time of year is always kind of rough because, you know, the post office brings in all the seasonal help, and most often those are the people sorting the packages. I have a little experience in the postal facility. We used to have a distribution center here, and I worked some holidays there at various points in time because it's, you know, it's pretty good money. It's terrible hours and really not fun work, but at the holidays, sometimes, you know, you want a little extra cash. So I did some of that a few years ago, and I can tell you from experience that some of the people I worked with on that seasonal stuff paid zero attention to what they were doing. Some of the people who were not seasonal, who were regular people, paid zero attention to what they were doing. But it's so easy for stuff to get missorted. I have one package that, this was a couple years ago. I had a package that I had shipped to California, and it's something that somebody was buying for the holidays, and they ordered it in plenty of time, and I shipped it in plenty of time. I mean, you know, like 2 weeks or something, we had to get it there. And it hadn't shown up by maybe the 19th or 20th something, so we start looking at the tracking. It had gone to Canada. So some temporary person saw CA for California and sorted it into the international bin. So then, of course, nobody touched it again until it gets up to some distribution center in Canada. And then it had to be sorted there and sent back. It was awful. But that's the kind of fun stuff that happens around the holidays with the post office. So the moral of the story is sometimes it takes longer than we think it should, and sometimes it's going to show weird tracking in a strange place. But so far, knock wood, everything's getting where it should go. All right, so here we are. These first 4 boxes are opened up. We're going to take a look at these. There's tons of base in here. We're going to kind of just cut a path through the base. There's also a bunch of inserts. For the most part, like this one, they are not numbered. If we do see one that's numbered, of course, I will point that out. We'll find a fair number of rookies. This one numbered to 75 on the Jordan Bell. And then we'll find 1 hit per box. And as far as our hits go, the Lakers have been pretty lucky in the other cases that we've opened. I think we've pulled Lonzo out of all the other cases that we've opened. want to say maybe did we pull a Donovan Mitchell too, or was that out of Don Russ? We've pulled some good stuff anyway. It would be nice, of course, if they would give us a few extra hits. I don't think anybody would complain about having more than one hit per box, but that's Panini for you. Composure, another one of our insert sets. Victory insert. But of course, you know the thing that I'm looking forward to, I'm sure you all are too for the most part, is getting into the Prism. I'm super stoked to get into that. Prism is always one of my favorite things to open in basketball. Always look forward to it. And of course this year in particular. Wow, how about that? Bucks with a Malcolm Brogdon to 75. And of course there for a minute I'm thinking rookie, but no, he was a rookie last year. I'm just so used to him being the best rookie in the class last year. I'm used to, you know, thinking, yay, it's Malcolm Brogdon. Still, that's a nice hit, numbered to 75 for the Milwaukee Bucks. Even though he is not still a rookie, he is still a nice hit. Anthony Davis reaching new heights insert. 1 to 125 on the DeMar DeRozan. And that is box number 1 out of the way. And this is number 2. The Big Cat Karl Anthony Towns. Number to 125 on the Andre Drummond. There's some other new basketball set they announced like within the last week or so. I can't think what it was. It's not Chronicles. They had already announced that. This is to 75 on the Josh Jackson. But it's another set that we've not had before in anything, basketball, football, or otherwise. But I can't remember the name of it. Kemba Walker Victory insert. And I'm trying to decide if I want to break any of it or not, because I can't have another run like we had on Ascension. This would cost me a fortune. So I got to pick and choose my spots a little bit better, I think, going forward. Oh, you know what else comes out? Court Kings. Nice little Brandon Ingram insert there. Court Kings comes out tomorrow. We'll start breaking that. I think it's already listed. Maybe the first couple of cases are already listed. And I'll have a handful, 3 or 4 or so cases of Court Kings. And then, of course, there's some Prism already listed. And then I think maybe next week, actually. Next week might be totally certified basketball. It's like all of a sudden Panini's just releasing basketball every other second right before Christmas. This is to 299. Nice little De'Aaron Fox for the Sacramento Kings on-card auto. And you know I'm fond of him because he used to play for the University of Kentucky. And truly, we haven't hit a ton of De'Aaron Fox. In fact, that might be the first De'Aaron Fox auto we've hit. He's not coming out as often as some of the others, at least not for me, anyway. And he's been playing pretty well. And I think he'll get, he's going to get a lot better too. You know, these kids are so young anymore. Coming out after their freshman year, it takes them a couple years to get really where they need to be. Whoops, that is numbered to 125 on the Donovan Mitchell. So I guess maybe it takes everybody but Donovan Mitchell a couple years to get where they need to be, because that kid's on fire. 40-something points the other night. I mean, he's tearing it up. Whoops. And he used to play up the road at Louisville, which, of course, you know, my alma mater being the University of Kentucky, they are like our arch rivals in state. So yeah, it's always kind of hard for me because I know, you know, Donovan Mitchell's playing so well, but yet, yeah, he's from U of L. from college anyway. Victor Oladipo to 199 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That one is a sticker auto. Oh, and Michael, you like Court Kings? Well, you'll have to jump in on some of that. I've definitely... I think I've got 2 cases of that listed already to break. I think I do. Sometimes I kind of forget what I have listed, but I'm pretty sure there's at least 1 up, if not 2. Carmelo Anthony to 125 for the Thunder. This is a good one to always take a minute. You see he's in a Knicks uniform, but Thunder designated on the card. And it says down there in those little bitty letters, traded to, you know, the Thunder and the date. And then, of course, has the Thunder team designation on the back as well. So those kind of cards are always going to go to the team that is designated on the card itself, not to the team, you know, that's shown on the uniform in the case of a player that's been traded. So I like to point that out because sometimes you'll see a card go by, and then if you don't get it when your cards come to your house, you'll wonder where it was. Well, that would be the deal if it's one of the traded players. Numbered to 125, D'Angelo Russell. This is another example of it. Of course, he was traded to the Brooklyn Nets in the off-season. Lots of little rookie cards in Ascension, which is nice if you're chasing rookies, which most of us are. And a handful of them numbered. Of course, I just think they're a little stingy sometimes with the hits because it's like the basketball people and the football people don't talk or something. Because, you know, basketball will put out a product and have, like this, okay, and have 1 hit in it. Then football will put out kind of a companion product, which was Illusions this year for football, and had like 4 or 5 hits in it. So why don't they just do them the same? Frank Jackson to 50 for the Pelicans. But it seems like they always have fewer hits in basketball, Panini, I mean, than they do in football. I don't really know why. Kind of irritates me a little bit. Because I like collecting basketball too, you know? But what are you going to do? We can only work with what they give us. Well, very last card, but worth the wait. Jason Tatum to 50. Celtics lighten it up with the nice low-numbered Jason Tatum on-card auto. Very nice hit for Boston. Right there. I like it. All right, so now we've got to take 4 more boxes and get all the packs out and all the cards out of the packs. So if you're inclined to go get a snack or take a bathroom break or check a score or something, now's the time to do it because it's going to take a few minutes once again to get all these out of here. And then we'll roll on down the road again. I wish, you know, I wish that Panini would get some input from people who do breaks and people who, you know, buy into breaks. I don't know why I'm saying you know all the time tonight. Apparently I'm having some difficulty speaking. No idea what that's about. But I wish that Panini would ask for some input so that we didn't have products like this where they have the potential to be really nice, but they could have used some more hits. Oh, Jason, we had we had a Jason Tatum for the Celtics. Isn't that awful? I can only remember the very last one that we looked at. What were the others, guys? Help me out. Oh, we had a Malcolm Brogdon. I remember that. Malcolm Brogdon for the Bucks. Victor Oladipo for the Thunder. Jason Tatum for the Celtics, and I don't remember the other one. But I tell you what, Jason, I do always recap the whole break right at the end. So anything that you missed when your connection dropped, we'll revisit it then. But I know those are 3 of the 4. I just can't remember what the 4th one was. Jason Tatum, Victor Oladipo, Malcolm Brogdon, and De'Aaron Fox. I think it was De'Aaron Fox. Yeah. Pretty sure that's right. Which for me, it's kind of a small miracle that I remembered the 4 of them. Which I know you laugh because you're thinking, well, you just looked at them. I know, but I also looked at all those other cards too in between, and I can't retain that much in my poor little brain at once. They just shoot right back out the other side. So, next week, this week, of course, Court Kings. Next week, I'm pretty sure is Totally Certified Basketball. And they may even have another basketball release coming out before Christmas. I don't know. They're really jam-packing them in. So they are doing their best to get everybody's money right at the holidays, but kind of, it's crazy. Because Topps put a bunch of stuff out, Panini put a bunch of stuff out. There were maybe 6, 7 different products that all came out this week. And if they would space it out a little better, I would think it would be better for everybody, but I guess not. Victor Oladipo will be whatever he is noted on the card. So I might have not paid attention to that after I sat there and did like a whole big speech about how you have to pay attention to not the uniform, but the team designation on the card. And I probably very likely said Oklahoma City Thunder when I did it, because I'm just so used to him being Oklahoma City Thunder. Violated my own rule there. But we will take a look at it again, of course, when we do the recap. And if I did do that, guys, I apologize. I am very much prone to do that myself. But when I sort them, I always sort them from the back so that I only see the team logo. And I do it for that reason, because there are so many traded players in basketball on a consistent basis, and it's so ingrained in my head where some players are that's where I would tend to sort them to if I looked at a uniform or looked at the player name. So I only sort basketball from the back, where all I see is the team logo. Oh, you're excited about Court Kings too, Jason? Yeah, it's coming up. Well, it's coming in tomorrow, Wednesday, but I don't have it scheduled to break right away. I want to say maybe have it scheduled for Friday. I think I have Prism Thursday and maybe Court Kings Friday. I don't know. I don't know, guys. You'll have to double check my listings, because I don't always remember the day I have something to come up, and I do scheduled starts at times as well, and I will remember creating the listing, and I'll maybe think something is up, and yet I've scheduled it and it hasn't actually started yet, so can't rely on my memory for that. But you can definitely look at see sellers other items or something like that. It says something similar to that on any one of my listings, and then it'll bring up everything else that is currently listed. And it will also let you sort it by sport and all kinds of other stuff just within the results of stuff I have listed, just if you didn't know that already, which you probably did. But die cut Malika Monk for the Hornets. A different insert than we've seen up to this point, but we'll see more of them. That one is the Golden Era. And we'll find those kind of sprinkled throughout. That's numbered to 125 on the Kent Bazemore. There's Josh Hart. I don't know why I looked at that and thought it was going to be Lonzo. I think I just saw the Lakers. And speaking of the Lakers and Lonzo, well, really speaking of Lonzo, did you see now that his dad is has pulled the other kid out of UCLA? Of course, he's pulled the one kid out of high school to homeschool him. Now he's pulled the kid out of UCLA to do who knows what with him. I mean, he's going to mess up those other two boys. This is to $2.99 for the Nuggets. Tyler Lydon on card auto. Looks like he used to play for Syracuse. Looked like that uniform had the big orange on it. Yeah, LiAngelo, exactly. The one that was shoplifting in China. So he got suspended by UCLA, rightfully so, him and the other two teammates. But it made Daddy LeVar mad that he was still suspended. Of course, his daddy keeps saying it's no big deal that he shoplifted, and you're kind of like, it kind of is a big deal. Like, maybe you should rethink that. But anyway, he's unconventional to say the least. So I don't know what he thinks he's going to do now, because I think LiAngelo was questionable to be drafted before, and now, I mean, he's going to try to play him straight to the NBA. I just don't see that happening, but I don't know. That's numbered to 25 on the Tony Bradley. Oh, I totally agree with you for sure, Jason. It's absolutely he should have been suspended. They should have all, truthfully, they probably should have all been kicked off the team. That's to 125 on the Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, you're traveling with your team, representing your university in a whole other country, and apparently shoplifted from multiple stores. Later reports said, not just one store. I mean, who does that? I'm sure lots of kids do it, but you really have to think that it was appropriate for them to be punished. That's to 125. And the fact that LeVar doesn't think so is somewhat problematic for me, anyway. But even the bigger picture of that is, his kid had a scholarship to UCLA, so now he's pulled him out. I personally think he's probably hurt his chances to be drafted because he's losing all that time to be coached and to develop and whatnot at UCLA. And then on top of that, now he's not even going to have his education to fall back on because his scholarship's been given up when he yanked him out of school. So I just don't follow that reasoning, but I mean, I guess the kid did get Lonzo to UCLA and to the Lakers, so I guess, he knows how to do something anyway. Maybe he'll create a miracle for the other two, but I don't think they're quite as talented as Lonzo. Jonathan Isaac to $2.99 on card auto for the Orlando Magic. And LaMelo, that's the youngest one. I wouldn't want to be homeschooled. I'm just saying. I would not want to be homeschooled. I feel bad for him. Because all his friends and stuff are still in school and he's homeschooled. I mean, maybe he doesn't mind and thinks it's awesome. But I, at his age, would definitely have not been happy if I had been homeschooled. Jordan Bell, New Frontiers die cut. And of course I'm sure you guys all saw if you didn't see the game live, have probably seen the replays of DeMarcus, and that's to 75 on the Doug McDermott for the Knicks. DeMarcus and Kevin Durant getting into it and getting ejected last night. So, is that Kevin Durant's third? I think it's his third time that he's been ejected this year, and I think he'd only been ejected maybe 2 other times in his entire career up until this season, and for some reason he just keeps getting ejected. But Boogie, now that's another matter. I mean, Boogie's ejected like once a week, it seems like. He's a very fiery kind of guy. But of course, he played for UK too, so I know a little about him. That's to 125 on the Ivan Rabb. He's a very passionate player, to say the least. But I like Boogie, I really do. And I like him with Anthony Davis. I think they've teamed up to make something good happen there. I hope that DeMarcus will decide to stay, because he's going to be a free agent after this year, so you never know. And Nurkic is our autograph hit to 149 for the Portland Trail Blazers. Almost stacked that in the wrong pile. Which I would have found it eventually, but, you know, I like to keep our hits together so we can recap them properly. Darius Thornwell played in the SEC. I haven't watched as much college ball this year. For some reason, I'm not as interested in college ball this year. I don't really know what the deal is. Maybe it's just too early in the season. I'm not into it yet. That's to 75 on the Dennis Smith Jr. for the Mavericks. Another rookie who's playing well. Karl Anthony Towns insert. De'Aaron Fox. Tyler Lydon again, because we're just going to pull a whole bunch of him. This is to 299 for the Nuggets, and it is our second Tyler Lydon of the evening, I do believe. You would think maybe out of 12 boxes and all the possibilities that they could put in there, that maybe they could get us 12 different autographs in one case. But no. Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox die cut, which I think... No, that is maybe the first one of him. Maybe the other one was Malik Monk that we pulled the die cut of earlier. But of course, that's been my refrain the entire year, is nobody does a very good job randomizing their hits. That's to 125 on the Tyler Ulis for the Suns. Especially, it seems like this year. And Topps has been really almost worse than Panini, believe it or not. In many cases this year, they have been very off the mark. Oh, listen, if you have been waiting, Jason, that long on a redemption from Panini, it's Kyrie, it looks like. They probably, if you've been waiting 5 years on that, I can pretty well guarantee you that they do not still have that. And if you reach out to them, I would recommend through Twitter, because that seems to be the best place to get a response. Although I started telling people that about a year ago, and then they kind of stopped helping as much through Twitter. I think they kind of got overwhelmed there for a while. And now they sometimes will refer you to somebody's email. But at any rate, they'll help you one place or the other. Either the Twitter people will help you, or they will give you the email of somebody who can help you. And you just need to work with them and ask them, you know, do you still have this? Because if they don't, that will just sit in your account forever until you make contact with one of them. And at that point, you can ask to have it switched out if they don't still have it. And sometimes they might have a Kyrie, maybe also a rookie year, but just not from the same card set that you pulled yours from. Let's say, for instance, yours was Contenders. I don't know what yours was, but let's just say it was Contenders. And all the Contenders were gone, and that's what your redemption was. And maybe they would have a Kyrie rookie in Momentum, but they would never think to match that up and ask you if you want it. They will just leave the one they don't have open forever and a day until you contact them. And if they don't still have any Kyrie rookies that they can send you, if they're all gone, they will still work with you to replace it with something of equal value. And supposedly they use, I think, Beckett to kind of help determine the valuation. And then they will give you they'll ask you, for instance, who's your favorite player, who's your favorite team, and then they'll try to find a card of similar value to the one that like your redemption card is maybe worth 125. They'll try to find you another card worth 125. And they tend to be somewhat flexible on that, but I do think that if it's been that long, that's definitely what you need to do. I don't have the email that you're supposed to use to trade it out. I had it at one time, and I think that person left, and now there's another person that's doing the replacements for redemptions that are out of stock. So I don't have it currently, but I can tell you that if you go to Twitter, that someone on there, on the Panini site on Twitter, the Panini page, I'll get it out in a minute, the Panini page on Twitter will help you and send you that email if the guy can't help you himself. And it used to be that he would just kind of always take care of it himself, or at least for me, he would just walk down the hall or wherever he had to go and come in short order. He would say either, yeah, we have it and I'll get it on the way, or no, we don't, what do you want instead? But then the last time I reached out to him about some redemptions that I've had setting for a year or so, he referred me to someone else. So I think he's no longer personally doing it. But I would suggest the one that you use is the one that says at Panini CSM. Because Panini has more than one Twitter account, but the one that is at Panini CSM is the one I would suggest, because I think that's the guy who's most likely to point you in the right direction. And I guarantee you they've had, in the last 5 years, they've had Kyrie Irving sticker autos at the very least. I mean, maybe yours is supposed to be an on-card, and that's why it's not done. I don't know. But at the very least, they've had sticker autos in the last 5 years. Because, I mean, we've seen them in things. We've seen them in Select and other products out of 2016. So. And Topps sometimes will kind of screw you up with redemptions too. I had one recently that had been sitting there for a really long time, and I finally just filled out the little form online and said replace it, and they did. I don't necessarily think it was comparable value replacement, but they did send a second card as well, which they always do, but this was another autographed card. And between the two, I just figured, oh, it's probably just good enough. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to complain. But I do like that Topps at least gives you the option online to go into each individual one and select, hey, I don't want to wait anymore, send me something else. And if Panini had that same option, I would have done that a long time ago on some of the ones I have, but they don't make it easy. All right, these are our last 4 boxes in this case break, and this is the last case of this that I have as well. And we're not going to break it again unless, why do I keep saying tonight? What is my problem? So I need to stop that. I don't know why I'm saying it tonight, but it's making me crazy. So the point I was trying to make is if the price were to drop on this, we might open some more. But it would have to drop by quite a little bit before that happens. Which, if you follow Panini stuff, sometimes that does happen. Sometimes the price will drop by a few $100s a few months after it comes out. Other times it goes up by thousands. You never know. A little Malik Monk hit for the Hornets to 299. So that's a couple of my Kentucky guys have come out with De'Aaron Fox auto and a Malik Monk auto. If we could find Bam Adebayo, then I would be all set with my first round Kentucky guys in this case. Jason, I would imagine, Jason's asking me how they determine the value. If someone is watching this either live or delayed and you can't see the chat, you just have to log into YouTube. I think that is what enables you to see the chat. That's to 125 on the Lillard. I believe that they would use the current value. That's my understanding anyway. This is to 50 on the Jared Allen for the Nets. So, in other words, if you were telling them today that you wanted a replacement, they would look at the value of your redemption today, and then they would give you a card of comparable value as it would be found in a price guide, you know, on the same day. That's numbered to 50 on the Sterling Brown. So that's how I think they do it anyway. It's how it was explained to me once upon a time, so I assume that it's similar. And occasionally I've heard tales of someone getting a card that is considerably less, not comparable, and that they've gone back later and complained and said, hey, I agreed to a switch and I got this and my card was worth that, and sometimes Panini will fix it, so keep that in mind too. But I think those were the cases that were extreme, that they complained and then got fixed. Dwayne Bacon, another hit for the Hornets to 299. So back-to-back Hornets hits. Followed by another little Malik Monk die cut. Yeah, I think the main thing, Jason, is you have to, when you do actually reach a person by email or via Twitter or whatever, let them know that you are ready to switch it out, that you just want to get a replacement because you're tired of waiting on it. I think that's the key, because otherwise they'll just let you wait forever, literally forever. That's numbered to 75 on the Aaron Gordon. Unless you go to the National. And if you happen to go to the National, I believe Panini is set up there to allow you to take a random kind of swap right there on the spot for redemptions that are sitting in your account that have been there for a certain length of time. But you have no way of knowing what it's going to be, and I don't think there's any kind of value guarantee if you do it at the National. I don't think they guarantee equal value, but they will do it. So, at least in years past they have. Steve Nash die cut for the Suns, Overdrive. Isn't that a case hit? Isn't there just one Overdrive a case? I think there is. I think that's correct. I would have to double check it to tell you 100% for sure, but I believe that's the case. To 125, DeMar DeRozan. But truthfully, in general, Panini should stay on top of their athletes a little more, because Topps, they kind of stay on top of their people and they get most of their stuff back. Of course, they have a smaller athlete pool to deal with, given that they're just working with basketball versus, or baseball, I mean, versus Panini working with basketball, baseball, and football. But still, you have to think there's a better way to do it. Jarrett Allen to 50. especially after the two issues they had. The one where Takris McKinley had his little brother signing his autographs. You guys remember that from earlier in the year. And then we had, of course, the issue with Dak Prescott and the auto pen, although claiming that he has no idea how some of his cards got signed by an auto pen. It was all out of 16 Prism, I think is what it was. And, of course, they've subsequently issued replacements, but point being, I would think if you were Panini, maybe at that point you would want to go along the way that Topps does it, as in a representative witnesses it. That's to $2.99 for the T-Wolves. Nice little Justin Patton on card auto. And we are rolling into our last little stack, which represents our last box, our 12th and final box of Ascension. So hopefully, if we have not found what you're looking for yet, hopefully we're going to find it here. And then, of course, we will recap everything when we get done. This is Frank Mason to 75. I always think that's going to be something when I flip it over, right? But no, it was turned backwards because of the insert behind it. But they get me on that a good amount of the time. Little Markelle Fultz rookie. You don't see a whole lot of those go through for some reason. Julius Randle to 99. A veteran signature is our last hit out. So the Lakers don't go home empty-handed, but yet Julius Randle, I realize, is probably not who you were looking for in this break. Although, hey, he is a UK guy too, so I'm always a fan of my ex-UK players, so I personally like the hit, but I know it's not what you were looking for. That's to 125 on the Aaron Gordon. Sometime in the days ahead, I'm also going to start doing some mixers where we will have boxes from 15-16, 16-17, 17-18, probably some back from 12-13, 13-14. We're going to go back into the vault and put together some interesting little mixed year breaks for basketball. Probably right after Christmas, maybe a little before, but probably right after. Julius Randle to 99 for the Lakers. Just recapping our hits here. Justin Patton for the T-Wolves to 299. Dwayne Bacon to 299 for the Hornets. If you missed me saying it earlier, I'm expecting this stuff to ship on Saturday. If I can get it to you sooner, I will. It's possible some could slide a day in either direction. That's to 299 on the Malik Monk for the Hornets. Tyler Lydon, the first of two, I believe, to 299. Nurkic for the Blazers, numbered to 149. Jonathan Isaac for the Magic to 299. Tyler Lydon, there's our second one, to 299 for the Nuggets. A little Jason Tatum to 50 for the Celtics. That's a nice little hit for the Celtics. Victor Oladipo to 199 for the Pacers, and I think I stupidly said for the Thunder earlier because I'm so used to him being the Thunder and guilty of my own mistake there also in looking at his uniform right after telling you guys not to look at the uniform. I did it originally, but yeah, Victor Oladipo is a Pacer. De'Aaron Fox for the Sacramento Kings to 299, and then we wrap it up with Malcolm Brogdon to 75 for the Milwaukee Bucks. So that is it for tonight. Just the one case. So we are in and out and done with that. And I'm going to get back to shipping. I'm going to try to get some more labels printed tonight so we can get a bunch out the door tomorrow. Hopefully I will see you on another break soon. We've got lots of basketball up and coming, as well as, of course, baseball and football and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I have any breaks scheduled for tomorrow night, but we'll be back at it Thursday and every night after that for a while. So As always, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.